In the headlines, normalcy returns to Lagos Airport after ground holders withdraw services. President Buhari campaigns for APC in Bauchi as rally records technical hitch. Diphtheria death toll hits 34 as Kano records 100 infections. Away from Nigeria, Cameroon journalist Martinez Zogo found dead 5 days after abduction. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details. Normalcy has returned to Lagos Airport following the strike embarked upon by workers of the Nigerian Aviation Handling Company PLC, which grounded local and international flights across the country. In a statement in Lagos on Monday, NACO Group Executive Director Olushola Ababori said it is engaging the unions and bringing to an end the disruption in flight services occasioned by the industrial action embarked upon by a section of its staff. Ababori acknowledged that some of its clients were being put through a difficult situation by the insistence of some staff to embark on strike action despite a subsisting order of court which restrained them from doing so. The union, including the National Union of Air Transport Employees and the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, had reportedly given a 5-day notice to the management for salary increase. Among the airlines affected are Air Peace, Virgin Atlantic, Ethiopian Airlines, Qatar, among others. A Qatar Airways flight which arrived from Doha in the early hours of the day had to return to its destination after landing as there was no NACO staff on ground to handle the flight. Now, Daily Trust reporter in Lagos, Abdulateef Aliyu, gives us an update in that regard.
All right. The strike was sort of around 3 o'clock after over 10 hours of action, which led to the disruption of flights at majorly at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos and Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Basically, it's not all the flights that were affected. The issue is between the union and the management of Nigeria Aviation Handling Company, NACO. NACO is one of the two major ground handling companies that we have in Nigeria. And basically, what the handling companies do is to provide ground support services to airlines. So NACO on its portfolio has different airlines. Following the strike action, there was a lot of intervention from different stakeholders, and as a result of that, the two parties came to a round table. There was a negotiation meeting that was held at the airport, and it was monitored by other stakeholders at the airport. I mean, stakeholders like the NCA, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, and other stakeholders at the airport. They monitor the proceedings, and at the end of the day, the two warring parties, that is the management of NACO and the union, reached a truce. And some of the resolutions that were made, first of all, was to withdraw the suit that was filed against the unions by the management. The workers have returned to work, and they started providing services to some of these airlines. But what is very clear is that the damage that this has actually caused, the effect of it cannot really be undone immediately. It has a lot of far-reaching effects on some of the flights that will be operated. Because when you look at the way most of the airlines, they use Lagos as a hub. From Lagos, they provide services to other destinations and so on. In as much as they are unable to leave Lagos, it will affect other flights during the day. For instance, Air Peace has issued a statement to say that the strike has cost it over 500 million naira because it has over 100 flights that it operates in a day. And because it could not operate most of the flights in the morning, most of the flights in other destinations like Enugu, Port Harcourt, Kano, and several other places, there were a whole lot of delays. Already some of the airlines have cancelled their flight because there was no way they can operate all the flights that have been affected as a result of this strike.
Now, President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday attended the presidential campaign rally of the All Progressives Congress in Bauchi State. Buhari, who inaugurated the campaign, presented the party's flag to the presidential candidate Bola Tinubu and the gubernatorial candidate in the state, Sadiq Abubakar. The president urged the party supporters to unite and vote for Tinubu and other candidates of the party at all levels. The APC National Chairman, Abdullahi Adamu, the Director General, Tinubu Shetima Presidential Campaign Council, Governor Simon Lalong, and the governorship flag bearer, Sadiq Baba Abubakar, all described Bauchi as an APC state and urged supporters of the party to remain committed and work for its victory at the polls. Now, students of the University of Abuja have on Monday expressed mixed feelings over their engagement with the presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, on his agenda for the country. A cross-section who spoke to Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman shortly after the interface expressed both satisfaction and reservations, especially on the implementation of the policy initiatives.
The second engagement series of the University of Abuja with presidential candidates took place right behind me here. And of course, the students had an opportunity to interact freely with the NNPP presidential candidate, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, who rolled out his plans for the education sector and other sectors of importance to Nigeria ahead of the election, which is scheduled to hold next month. It is left for the students now to decide as to where the pendulum will swing, looking at the direction and inputs and, of course, understanding of the issues by the various candidates that will be engaging them ahead of the election.
So if he's to stick by what he promised us, I think he has his blueprints actually going to create a bright future for Nigeria. That is, if he's not going to recycle the normal status quo of other political candidates. If he stick by what he's saying, Nigeria will actually be better than it is now. So we are just hoping.
The past elections, the presidents too, the candidates, when they were candidates, they've been always saying all these things: electricity, poverty, education. But yet, and once they acquire power, this problem keep repeating itself. That's just what I see.
I was expecting him to hammer on what's on climate change. He never mentioned anything on climate change. But I believe that we have been having series of disasters like flooding and other disasters. So I was expecting him to also talk on that. So we see his plan and what he has so we can mitigate all those problems we've had.
What he said made a lot of sense, but I cannot say that I have experienced or witnessed some of the works he did educationally, but I feel like there's a chance that he's a very good leader.
He was able to identify the major challenges that Nigeria as a society is facing, and like it is popularly said, being able to identify your problem is a first step towards solving such problems.
Engagements like this, some will say, especially in a political environment, is very key to shaping the opinions, if you like, of the critical stakeholders in the nation's electoral process. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Staying with political matters, the vice presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party and governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, says the general acceptance of the party across the country is an indication that Nigerians are ready for change of government at the presidency. The governor stated this at the Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba, shortly after inspecting preparations at the facility ahead of the Tuesday's presidential rally in the state. Okowa said that the PDP will provide Nigerians with all-inclusive and purposeful leadership that the country yearns for. He noted that the warm reception and support PDP received across the country showed that Nigerians had become optimistic about the need for positive change, adding that the party is determined to rescue the nation and deliver good governance to the people.
I can see that the committee is working very hard. You can see all of them right here. I just decided to step in to see what exactly they were putting in place. I think I'm very, very satisfied about the level of preparation. They did brief me yesterday on how far they had gone, and I can find for sure that what I was told is what is ready on ground. So I think we're set. We're looking forward to a great day on Tuesday, the 24th of January.
In the meantime, the Labour Party's Senate candidate for the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Ireti Kingibe, has described herself as a true symbol of the nation's capital who could represent everyone's interest if elected. She was speaking at a function in Abuja. Kingibe said that with a Muslim father who hailed from Panshekara in Kano State that shares a Yoruba blood, as well as a Christian mother of Igbo by tribe, she could be described as a true Nigerian that all voters in the territory should rally behind.
The symbol of FCT, because I'm Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo, and Igbo rivers all rolled up into me. I'm a Muslim, I had a Muslim father, and I had a Christian mother, so I don't think that Christians are non-people or people to be persecuted. I understand that there are many meeting points in both religions, so that's why I say I'm the symbol of FCT. I think I will represent everybody's interest very well here, because everybody's mine.
Okay, let's talk to the House.
Now, less than 48 hours after he was abducted, the sole administrator of the Idatu North local government area of Imo State, Chris Ohizu, has been beheaded by the kidnappers. The council chairman was beheaded on Sunday. It was gathered that the abductors killed him after allegedly receiving a 6 million naira ransom. Ohizu was kidnapped alongside two others on Friday from his country home at Imoko community in Orondizogu area. His country home was also completely razed. Imo Police Command spokesperson Henry Okoye, who confirmed the incident, said that the police had commenced investigation into the incident. The trial of the Speaker of Ogun State House of Assembly, Kunle Oluomo, has again been adjourned. Reports say that the trial was postponed without formal reason. Oluomo was first docked before the Federal High Court in Lagos, where he secured bail after he was arrested by the anti-graft agency at the airport last September. The case was later transferred to Ogun State, and the trial at the Federal High Court in Ogun was initially scheduled for 21st November 2022, but was stalled due to pre-election matters. Oluomo and three others are facing a 9-count charge of corruption and embezzlement to the tune of 2.9 billion naira. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at low turnout for PVC collection as deadline draws near. Details of this and more after the break. This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Daily Trust presents 20th Daily Trust Dialogue. Theme: Interrogating the 2023 Presidential Agenda. Panelists: Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, former Chairman, First Bank of Nigeria. Professor Jibrin Ibrahim, Professor of Political Science and member of the Board of the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD. Dr. Yetunde Anibaba, Lecturer, Analysis of Business Problems, Lagos Business School. Dr. Eugene Enahoro, Human Capacity Development Specialist and CEO, Heltoni Services Limited. Chairman of the event, John Cardinal Onaikon, Archbishop Emeritus of Abuja. Royal Father of the Day, Alhaji Samaila Muhammad, MFR, Sarkin Karshi, Abuja. Date: Thursday, 25th January 2023. Time: 10 a.m. Venue: NAF Conference Center and Suites, Kwarimpa Expressway, near Next Shopping Mall, Kado, Abuja. For sponsorship and branding participation, contact 081 00 49 1948, 081 65 32 0660, or 080 33 92 8902. The event will be broadcast live on Trust TV. The July 1966 counter-coup that toppled the first military government of General Agui Ironsi has one living witness, his ADC. Then, Lieutenant Sani Bello was with him that fateful morning in Government House, Ibadan. For the first time, now Colonel Sani Bello, former military governor of Kano State and multi-millionaire businessman, speaks to Trust Television on how Ironsi and his host, Colonel Fajui, lost their lives and how he survived to tell the story.
As we were jumping to the Land Rover, we had a machine gun fire. Dada rushed back. What happened, Sabijo? So he was trying to run away. And we shot him. Who was it? Fajui. They killed Fajui.
Catch up on this bit of living history on Trust Television on Saturday, 28th January between 8 and 9 p.m. and in Sunday Trust, 29th January.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at English squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back from that break. This is the news update on Trust Television. Here's a look at the top stories again. Normalcy returns to Lagos Airport after ground holders withdraw services. President Buhari campaigns for APC in Bauchi as rally records technical hitch. Moving on, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention said that the death toll from diphtheria disease across the country is now 34, as Kano State has registered 100 cases. The NCDC, via its official website on Sunday, said that the deaths were between December 2022 and early January 2023 from Lagos, Kano, Yobe, and Osun, with Kano State alone registering 25 deaths. The agency blamed increase in the infection and resurgence on the low vaccination coverage across the country. Meanwhile, the identified cases of diphtheria in Kano have risen from 25 to 100 in less than 2 weeks. 3 persons in 13 local government areas of the state have died. The local government areas where the disease are ravaging include Ngogo, Nasarawa, Bichi, Dala, Dawakin Kudu, Fage, Gwale, Kano Municipal, Kumboto, Rano, Dawakin Tofa, and Gwarzo. Now, of the 100 cases, the State Health Ministry said that 8 were confirmed while awaiting more results. Currently, 27 patients are on admission receiving treatment, while 41 have been managed and discharged successfully. Kano State government has recorded 4 new cases of Lassa fever across the state. This is coming as the state is currently facing another outbreak of diphtheria. Now, the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Aminu Ibrahim Tanyawa, disclosed this while briefing journalists in the state. He said that the 26-year-old index case of Lassa fever was admitted on January 10, 2023 at the Abdullahi Wase Specialist Hospital, and he said that 3 other cases were uncovered from 10 samples obtained from the high-risk contacts of the index case, while 3 persons tested positive. According to him, the last confirmed case of Lassa fever in Kano was in January 2020, with 3 persons dead and 292 cases on the watch list. Few days to the 29 January deadline for collection of permanent voter cards, distribution is moving smoothly in Gombe State. Ibrahim Ismail reports that despite enlightenment campaign by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, many Nigerians are not aware of where to collect their cards. Take a look.
Sunday, the 29th January is the last day for the collection of PVCs. It was initially scheduled to end on January 22nd. But few days to Sunday, it appears some Nigerians in Gombe are not aware of the procedures to get their cards. At a time when the collection process is at ward level, some residents are visiting the local government office of INEC.
And I'm just coming, I saw so many people. I don't even understand what is happening. But from my findings, I was able to get some information. Most people that are here for the ad hoc staff movements. So I'm still looking around to see the process of the collection.
I escorted with my wife here so that she also collect her own. Because we were here the same day. I picked my own. So they told her that her own will be ready in 2 weeks' time. So here we are now.
A resident in Shamaki Ward, Gombe, said INEC officials are very punctual at the card pickup point, but the turnout is very low, which can be attributed to ignorance of the collection point. Others attempt to collect by proxy. People should endeavor to collect their PVCs to vote who they want. Without PVC, you don't have the right to raise your voice against bad governance. But with your card, you do have a voice. For Nigerians to exercise their franchise in the 2023 general elections, they must have their permanent voter cards. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Now, a new program intended to increase the speed of circulation of the new banknotes and increase awareness ahead of the next week's deadline for demonetization of the old notes kicks off nationwide on Monday. In a circular announcing the program on Friday, the Apex Bank said that the swap deal is an attempt to create more awareness about the deadline for phase-out of the old 200 Naira, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes. Now, the initiative, known as Cash Swap, will provide an opportunity for Nigerians to swap old notes with new ones at super agents across the country. The intervention targets residents in rural areas and individuals with limited access to financial services. The program is a joint initiative of the Central Bank of Nigeria, deposit money banks, and super agents. The launch of the program is not unconnected with the challenges rural dwellers could face returning their old banknotes to banks between now and the next Tuesday, after which they will cease to be legal tenders. Now, the Senate has called for an extension of the deadline to the end of the first half of the year. Governors have also weighed in, seeking variations in CBN's Naira redesign policy. Yobe State Governor Maimala Buni has appealed to the Central Bank of Nigeria to extend the January 31 deadline for the phasing out of the old notes. Speaking through his spokesman in a press conference on Sunday, Mama Mohammed Buni urged the Apex Bank to give a special concession and alternatives to Yobe residents for the change of the Naira note due to the lack of banking services in most parts of the state. He explained that only 4 out of the 17 local government areas in the state have banks, making it difficult for people in the remaining 13 local government areas to access banking services. According to the governor, CBN should also ensure commercial banks open branches in the local government council headquarters now that there is improved peace and security across the state. The governor said that the improved security in Yobe and the Northeast generally makes it conducive for the banks to resume operations and open new branches in the local government council headquarters and other towns. He further expressed fears that until something urgent is done, many people may fall victims of failing to change the new notes. Now, away from Nigeria, a popular Cameroon radio journalist who had been missing following what a media rights group called an abduction has been found dead. His employer and police said on Sunday. Martinez Zogo was managing director of Yaoundé-based private radio station Amplitude FM and star host of a popular daily program, translated in English as Gridlock. While on air, the 51-year-old regularly tackled cases of corruption, not hesitating to question important personalities by name. He had been missing since Tuesday. The death of Zogo was confirmed by a police source who spoke on condition of anonymity. The International Press Institute, a Vienna-based press freedom organization, urged Cameroonian authorities to promptly investigate the horrific murder and ensure that those responsible are brought to justice. And in sports news, Kwara United midfielder Tamara Ezekiel has shown his disappointment with the result of their match day 3 against Bendel Insurance. The Afonja Warrior lost 0-1 at home to Bendel Insurance in the game played at the Lekan Salami Stadium, Ibadan. He further apologized to the club fans for the result and believes that they will bounce back in the next match. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Bye for now.